Real quickly, most disappointing. Do you want to? Should I just go ahead?
I'll start.
Okay.
Because we both agree that this is the most disappointing team in the league.
Perfect.
So I want to start with this though. Oh, the top two highest paid players in the league combined are 0-4. Just think about that for a second. The top two players in the entire NFL, top highest paid players are 0-4 combined, and that is Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. Now, I will say that Joe Burrow being injured, maybe not his fault. We're gonna give him a pass here. I'm also gonna give Justin Herbert a pass here because it's not on Justin Herbert.
No.
50 points scored in the last 2 weeks for the Chargers. Justin Herbert hasn't turned the ball over once, and they are 0-2. Tell me how that happens, Ryan.
2 losses by combined 5 points. You lose by 2 at home to the Dolphins, where Tua and Tyreek just went berserk. And then you go to Tennessee and you drop a heartbreaking game to the Titans, and you're sitting at 0-2 now in your division. And so that's why it's disappointing. The talent on their team,
it's ridiculous.
And I know that they're missing Austin Eckler this last game, and Eckler's done everything. But I just feel it's the same narrative that's happening over and over. Like last year, the Chargers were supposed to be the team, and then you lose that tough playoff game, which got Brandon Staley all fired up, which we're going to jump into right now. And this is a reference. A reporter asked him, is that playoff loss still being felt in the locker room right now?
I'm not worried about the Jacksonville loss. The Jacksonville loss hasn't carried on to the season whatsoever. If you've seen our training camp or you've seen the way we played in the first 2 games, it hasn't had an impact on our team whatsoever. Our team is connected. Our team has played its heart out in 2 games, and we've lost 2 tough games. But it has nothing to do with the Jacksonville game. And if you ask anyone in our locker room, it has nothing to do with the Jacksonville game. And that's just the truth. It's a convenient storyline for you and for everybody else, but it's not the truth. We've lost 2 tough games, but the guys in that locker room, the men in that locker room, they are finishers and they have what it takes, and we're excited to prove ourselves.
Thoughts on that?
I mean, he's right. I mean, as a player, you don't give a shit about what happened last year. You're frustrated, but
they are 0-5.
You can't
going back to last year.
You can't deny the pressure that Brandon Staley is under as a head coach.
Yeah,
because everyone thought he should have been fired last year after they had that meltdown in Jacksonville. How do you lose a game when you're up that much? Whatever it may be. But then in this case, if you're trying to challenge the Chiefs, you have every piece there to be a very solid football team, really arguably one of the best. But then to me, the Chargers, if I face them, it's not a team. I go, this is a very tough team, but in tight moments, I feel that we're going to pull it out. That's what it's becoming. So when we're talking about coaching in other places, the hot seat on Brandon Staley is firing hot. And now you got to go and play the Minnesota Vikings, who are also 0-2 and disappointing. And you have to find a way to win close games. And yes, they won close games last year, but this is 2023 now. And right now at this moment, you have 2 losses by a combined 5 points.
Yeah.
There's that is a fact. It's a reality. Your star quarterback hasn't turned the ball over, and you still are 0-2. And Adam Shine had a tweet out that said
to be 0-2 to score 50 points and no turnovers. Usually you talk about winning the turnover battle, you win the game, and the Chargers haven't done that. They haven't turned the ball over and scoring enough points to win the game, yet somehow they're coming out with losses. And to me, the only explanation is the coaching, the play calling. That has to be it.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. It's part play calling, but part of, so we talked about this with baseball, by the way, of being in tight situations and being able to, why the Orioles are doing so well this year is because they're winning in tight moments.
Right.
And it's
finding ways to win.
Finding ways to win. You're saying, oh, well, you're getting lucky. No, when you do it a lot, it's a skill.
Yes.
To win close games is a skill. And you either are capable of doing it and you show that you can do it, or you can't. And this 2023 Chargers team is off to a terrible job of that, because when the moments get tight, They haven't found a way to close out a game, to get a victory. And in the National Football League, just like any professional league, you have to take advantage of that. There's a reason why for the Ravens this year, why you go to Cincinnati, win a game, close game, you find a way to win. That is a part of it.
Mike Vrabel found a way to win, and he does. I mean, and that just
and that's coaching. And
right.
If you and that's the other part of it. Now that's where I went back to. The Chargers are so talented, but if you get into a close game with them, if I had said we're in a close game with the Titans or the Chargers, I'd rather it be with the Chargers than the Titans because of what the dog mentality that the Titans have, and you can tell they have been there to do it. The Chargers right now, teams don't fear that if they are in a close situation, that they can't beat the Chargers, and clearly that's still happening. Ryan Tannehill, also, by the way, doesn't get a lot of credit, and they say he's just a game manager. Well, the dude was 20-24 for 246, a touchdown, and in a game where everyone thought the Chargers should win, he still proved that in the big moments he could still make plays to swing the victory in his team's favor.
20-24 is an amazing stat, but just goes back to the fact that they scored 27 points and he only had to throw the ball 24 times.
Yep.
That's you talk about coaching and play calling and efficiencies like that. That's what it comes down to. Derrick Henry didn't even have 100 yards this game. So you can't even just say, oh, well, they ran the shit out of the ball. No, they just found ways to score. They found ways to win. And
well, you know what? They didn't have the yardage, but they stuck to their game plan. That's what they were going to do.
But it goes back to coaching.
And that's the thing is I do love the Chargers talent, but you're sitting there going, man, it's like the same thing when you looked at all the talent in the world's not going to buy you wins.
Right.
You got to go out there and compete, and you have to go out there and close out games. And if you don't do that, you're going to find yourself being at 0-3. And the Vikings also are another team that have had a tough time of putting together wins, not closing games they should. Last year, they won all the close games, but now you're sitting at 0-2. Can you figure it out? We're going to find out in week 3.